Morning guys, welcome back to my channel. I've thought so much about whether I address this or I don't address it, but I've spoken on some YouTubes, on some podcasts about this person, so I it's only right that I finish the story. So my next YouTube was supposed to be a hi everyone, I'm going on a solo trip. I did tell you all that this year that I did tell you all this year that I was trying to find myself again, and my podcast, if any of you ever listen to it, it kind of resurfaced some things that I hadn't dealt with. How are you? I need to let me start again. So lots of people know that I don't really have much of a relationship. I say don't much. Oh, God, I can't speak. I say I don't have much. I don't have any relationship with my parents. I've shared little bits about it online, but not too much, purely because I know that these people are still alive and well, or well, you know, alive, and people see them. I don't want someone to bring something that I put on the internet to them, because anything that's brought to them, I want it to be from me, you know what I mean? So I've said bits, and the things that I've said are things that I've said out loud to the people. But when I did my podcast and I spoke with my husband and I spoke openly about the impacts on our marriage and even my behaviours, and the fact that my trauma childhood is still repeating on me to this day. This is what forced me this year to really dig deep. I thought that I've been to therapy, I've been to counselling, and I thought that's it, that's all I can do, that's the most I can do. But then I realised on speaking on them podcasts that I'm not completely healed. So that's why I went on a self-discovery journey this year, and that's why I booked a solo trip for myself, without my husband, without my kids. I'm leaving my kids for the first time, to almost free myself of anything that I'm still holding on to. But my mum just passed away. And I don't know if how I feel about it is normal. Like I said, we didn't have a relationship that was off my back. It wasn't healthy. It was not healthy for me to be in contact with her. But I always thought, like, she'll just one day get too old, too fragile, end up in hospital, and she'll realise that she's made a huge mistake in missing her kid's life. I didn't realise that a tragic accident would happen and she would die. So I selfishly feel like any opportunity of closure has just been taken. But I've already got my trip booked now, and I feel like I need to go. So much has resurfaced since this, and I'm hoping that going there causes some closure, because not speaking to her for this long, I've almost mourned her already. But now I'm stuck. I'm scared. I'm scared I'm going to be stuck in this place of unresolved. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to get an answer now. I'll never get an answer as to why what happened, man. I'm never going to be able, I wasn't living in hope. I'm never going to be able to just say, when you're old and vulnerable and you really have got nothing left to live for, you just tell the truth. I'm never going to be able to say why. Why? But I went there. My mom's passed away. I've tried to change my flights. I can't change my flights. I'm seeing it as a godly reason as to why I can't change my flights. This feels like a pointless YouTube, but I don't know what else to do, man. I don't know what else to do, and I know one day I'll be able to really explain the entirety of everything to help you all understand. And not because you need to, but because I know that there's someone out there who can relate to my story so much. I'm just not ready to share it. But equally, I don't want to just pretend. I was going to pretend that it didn't happen, but it has. She's passed away. And now I'm going to use this trip to force me in showing you guys the best way to pour back into you. I think there's so many of us who have tumultuous relationships with our parents, or we have childhood trauma, and I've never heard anyone speak of life after death. What do you do? Because you've almost accepted that they passed away years ago in your heart. You know, you have to, in order to proceed forward. You can't keep thinking, will she turn up, won't she turn up, you know, like. But no one talks about a parent who you disassociate from for your own protection. They don't talk about the aftermath of how you should feel or what you should feel when they pass away. I can't help but think about my kids. I'm just like, my kids have said to me so much. Especially Jai started asking recently, Mum, why have I never seen your mum? And I'm like, you have, and I'll get a picture out from the 1990s. And now, I'm like, is it easier? Is it easier for me to just say your grandma's in heaven, here's these beautiful pictures? I'm no longer lying, you know, but then I'm like, the reality is she's dead, and I have siblings. I worry about the impact on them, how it was going to impact them, because they still had an in and out relationship with her. Theirs was also toxic, but you know, they're a bit more tolerable than I am. So I'm just kind of stuck. But yeah, I just wanted to be open with you all, be honest with you all, be vulnerable with you all. I marked the occasion because when I am ready to deal with it, I don't want it to be something that I just bring to the internet in a year, 2 years, 5 years, and be like, my mum died 5 years ago and I never said anything, you know what I mean? Because it's just not authentic, is it, you know? But yeah, I'm supposed to be going on a solo trip by myself for 2 weeks. I've got the suitcase here. This was supposed to be a pack with me. But life's happened, man. And I would love to talk about my way of dealing with my childhood trauma of my own mom when she was alive, now she's no longer alive, and how I maneuver my life, my kids around that. Because sometimes we can be so stuck, can't we, like in a situation because we don't know how best to deal with it. And I don't know, I don't even know why I filmed this. I really don't know why I filmed this. It does mean though that I can go and get more things that belong to me so I can show my kids, because I've literally got about 20 pictures of myself. You see, you can only be using the same pictures so many times with a toddler. Well, it's not a toddler anymore, he's 4, but he'll be like, show me more, and I'm like, oh, how many more? At least now I can get things for him to help him identify himself, man. And let's just pray that, I don't know, but also because of this is the issue, man. I feel so guilty that I'm still going to go ahead and travel, and I've thought about cancelling it, but then equally because of the toxic relationship between me and my mum, it's also caused a bit of toxicity between me and my siblings, so we try and keep each other at a distance. So it's like, if I don't go, what will I do, you know, once the house is empty, once everybody's been notified? Will I be left with more trauma? I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that the reason why I booked this trip still stands. I booked it because I missed a humongous part of my childhood. I missed a humongous part of being able to be in touch with myself, being able to have like free, careless fun. And I'm like, is this a sign? Did I need this to be like a slate clean? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know, man. I just don't have a clue. I hope I don't delete this at some point. I don't want it to ever come across insensitive, but I also still get questions this day like, can you talk more about you and your mom? And now I'm like, fuck, it's a little more difficult now, because I don't want to just talk about someone who's now passed away without saying that they're no longer alive, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'll come back to you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to keep you all in the loop. And I'll probably go back to counselling now, just to make sure that anything that has been dealt with doesn't resurface itself, because the last thing I want to do is put myself in a state of trauma, anxiety, depression, because all these things that I dealt with when I was a teenager, I now pull back because I feel like I can never physically, you know, like there's no way than telling you your answer's finished than saying the person's gone. They're not even dying in a bed, they're dead. They didn't have a chance, they had an accident, they're dead. Do you know what I mean? So there's no final line thicker or finer than this. And I just want to be aware and conscious that that also may have an impact on me, on how I mother my children, on my marriage. And I want to share that with you all openly and honestly, but as respectfully as possible. So yeah, I'm sorry this is like a really dark update. But again, I can't imagine I won't speak of her ever again, and I would hate to do that without actually addressing the fact that she's passed away. Okay.